Welcome everybody to Zoom. So we're doing our first Zoom call. Actually worked out really well this time. We had a little technical errors on a call we did earlier with it, but it's a really cool and exciting format. So it's good to see all you guys' faces. And as a real quick reference, if you're not muted, go ahead and mute yourself. You can kind of see down at the bottom left-hand corner, you can see audio. Make sure that you're muted. And then also, if you want to chime in or do anything, just share on the call, feel free to unmute yourself and jump in. But first of all, congrats on an awesome month. I see there's a lot of few people that are like new on this call, and this is also a new format. So just kind of a reminder that, the reason why we start off the month with a call like this is just because, planning for success is probably the most important thing that we do in growing our business. And everyone has a different format of how they want to grow and different places that they're at. But the one thing that remains constant is that we start our months on purpose, planning out our goals. And this is kind of the way that we like to do it in the Brash Miller organization, where we all come together and kick off the month. Sorry, I'm just watching all these faces pop up. So I'm just trying to catch up with everybody that's coming on here. It's pretty exciting. Because there's one thing about this business. It is very simple and it doesn't take a lot of time, but it definitely isn't easy. If everyone kind of knows what I mean, it takes focus, it takes attention, and it's definitely a craft that we learn along the ways. And we have a lot of very successful people on here, and we all like to learn from each other. So we come to the beginning of the month, basically kick off our month and plan for success so we can continue to grow this mission that we're doing. And I got to say congrats to many of you guys, actually pretty much all of you. We had so many rank advancements last month and a lot of growth happening. So I've already caught up with a lot of you guys on a few things you're working on as we're heading to conventions. So this call is just basically a place to come in, kind of learn from some different tips from different people, and just celebrate some success, as well as learn some high leverage things that you can help grow your business each month. So first, I did want to make a reference to this real quick. Is you'll probably notice, and it's a really cool thing, is we're actually going to make these calls a little bit more intimate. So we've actually encouraged the LaBelle's presidential team to actually start doing basically their own call at the beginning of every month. If you are part of their organization and happen to be on this call, fantastic. We love everyone, and it was kind of sad a decision to do that, but that way we could kind of have like a smaller group, a little bit more intimate learning session. So that's just kind of a cool thing on how we're moving forward with that. They're going to take care of their team and group everyone up, and then we're going to keep doing it like this. So I actually already see a few people from their organization on the call, which we're all part of the same support team. But I just want to make that kind of announcements because it's a little bit different than how we do things in the past. So I think that's pretty much it. So you guys pretty much, I'm guessing most of you guys listen to the leadership call, and I'm just going to reiterate probably one of Dr. A's biggest points is to have fun with this business. We all have come to this business and it takes shape for life and have changed our health to some degree, probably pretty radically. I know I'm looking at all the faces here, and I'm knowing all of your stories, and it's pretty phenomenal. So remember that every single day, and know that that's what we have to give to other people. And so with that being said, he also talked about National Convention. I kind of want to start off the call talking about that because we got convention coming up. It's a month and a half away, next month in July. So if you haven't planned on that yet, feel free to reach out to your support team and get some more information. If you're new on the line and you're thinking that it's something that you might want to do, connect with your support team and or your business coach or whoever it may be, and find out a little bit about what it takes to get to National Convention. It is not something you want to miss. And Ashley wanted me to make sure that I reminded everyone tonight that we wouldn't be here if we didn't go to National Convention it's going to come up on 5 years ago, and we are super glad that we did. So we want to see you guys all there. Start making that plans for that. Airfare is actually super inexpensive, and we actually have some prizes that we'll get to tell you about coming up here for some things coming up that we get to do. Actually, okay, I didn't see that you got to log on. Will you talk a little bit about just convention real quick, Ashley? Because I know you wanted to say something about it.
Hi, guys. Yeah. You are correct that, can you hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. We definitely wouldn't be here if we didn't go to our first convention, and something we haven't told our story in a while. So a lot of you have never heard, like, you may think, oh, Brad and Ashley got into this because their family was in it, but that is really not the case. If anything, that was probably Not anything wrong with the family, but being 21 and 23 and seeing it through the eyes of people in their 50s plus, we had 0 point of reference, and we actually thought it was hokey. So just being honest. And so when we went to convention, we got to hear it out of Dr. A's mouth, and we had an ID, but we didn't, like, the one client I had was years prior. She lost 40 pounds, and I literally, this is how bad it was. I gave her my commission check back because I had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't feel right. Like, I just thought it was, don't ever do that. But anyways, that's how off base we were. So don't think we had this like in with the family or whatever. And so we went to convention 2009 as basically guests with no strings attached. It was like, just come have an educated decision before you like say yes or no to this. And we walked out of there just totally on fire. We needed to hear it from Dr. A himself and hear the stories for ourselves, not just what we thought it was. So you may be sitting here like thinking like you know, oh, I know what it is. I don't need this, but trust me, like you'll be amazed. You'll be shocked. Even if you've been, but you didn't like quite catch the gear that you want to be in, don't think that one time you went is what the determining factor is for what this is going to be about, because this convention will be totally different than anyone you've ever been to. So, so anyways, we came home from that convention with, like I said, no clients, no business, no nothing. And we went associate director in 10 days. And then I left my job, one of my jobs, I had 2 of them, in 2 weeks after convention. And then I actually was laid off 8 weeks after that. But I was going to quit because we'd replaced our income and we were actually like building up savings already in those like 8 to 10 weeks post convention. So when I got laid off, it was like a huge blessing because I actually needed to quit because we were so busy with Take Shape. And it was only because of what we learned at convention. So if that gives you a point of reference of how big it is, I hope it does. And like I said, a lot of you don't even know that's our origins. And if we hadn't gone, you wouldn't possibly be here. So imagine your Zoom call in a few years when, you know, because you're going to convention and all the people that will come from that. So that's my story.
Yeah, thanks Ashley for sharing it. And yeah, we haven't got to share it in a long time. And many of you guys I know are here because of going national convention. Actually, Bobby, you and I had a really good talk about that today and how big you saw it. So again, if you haven't been to convention yet and are like asking like, what is that? Especially because I want to point out, like, you know, a lot of people are going to catch the recording of this Jumpstart call. You know, reach out to your support team, find out a little bit for you. If Take Shape for Life is at all is something you want to do, we want to see you there. Plus, it's at Disneyland, so even better reason to go if you like making a vacation out of going to an awesome experience. So, but also on that.
The only thing I was going to add to that is don't hesitate to invite clients or people who aren't even clients yet or coaches or anything. It's open to everybody. Like, you don't have to have a coach ID to go. In fact, Bobby went as a client who'd had a lot of success as a client. And I invited her, but she wasn't even a coach yet. And so don't count out inviting all of your clients, anybody who's even thought about being a client, even explored being a health coach. So I'm just saying, like, definitely don't limit yourself in that, because you'll be amazed who says yes. Like, it's shocking, and it's scary, but do it anyways, because they'll probably come.
Yeah, well, that's what happened to us is my parents invited us, and we went, and we almost didn't go, and that's the crazy part. So I'm so glad we did. So again, you know, reach out to your support team, you know, and then Ashley already hit it on the head for me, which is, you know, how many people are you bringing with you? So she always likes to say, you know, kind of envision your table at National Convention, because the dinner on Saturday night. And that's one thing we want to encourage you guys to do. So with that being said, also Dr. A threw out that on Wednesday evening, there's going to be a webinar. It's not only talking about some high leverage things you can do before convention, but things to utilize and make the most of convention. So, oh, Joy, you had a really good question here. see here. We must have reached mass people. Everyone changed on my page. But will guests pay for registration? So Joy, great question. You can have guests come. You can actually they have to pay to go to National Convention. There is going to be a Friday night event where anyone can come and learn more from Dr. Ray. That we're going to be doing that. It's going to be 6:30 to 7. But there's also, they can come any day of there. They can do breakdown. They don't have to pay for the entire weekend. So like if someone's available to come like on Saturday or whatnot, they're able to do that as well. So connect with your support team. There's a few different ways you can utilize that. But essentially we want them to see what we're doing. Because actually real quick, Bobby, I know you're going to share a little bit something later, but can you unmute yourself real quick? What did you think when you went into National Convention for the first time as a client? Just so everyone kind of knows like the full spectrum of who they can invite.
Well, actually, I was so glad. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Actually, I was so glad to hear Ashley say that she just thought that everything was kind of crazy, because I walked in right when Dr. Anderson was speaking, and people were up clapping, and there was music going on, and I walked into that big room, and I went, oh my God, what have I got myself into? So I'm thankful that Ashley had the same experience, but it was actually perfect that it was Dr. Anderson that I got to hear first, because he's just wonderful to listen to, and it made sense. And here being so successful on plan, it was awesome to see somebody who I consider a mentor be able to speak right off the bat.
Awesome. So, I mean, was it overwhelming for you as a client? You were pretty like...
Oh, no, it was.
Well, I mean, like, but it was exciting for you, right?
I was absolutely thrilled, because it meant a lot to me to be invited to come out there. And I had kind of thought about being a health coach back here, but had not any idea how big TSFL was until I walked into that big convention and saw all the people and how nice everybody was, and how everybody just wanted to get healthy and share, getting other people healthy. It was contagious, absolutely contagious.
Good. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Bobby. That's awesome. And the reason why we spend so much time on it is because literally National Convention is a huge deal. And that's why we want as many people as we can there. And the reason why we talk about it is because we know where we would be at probably if we didn't go to National Convention. So that's why we're so passionate about making sure people come with us and hear Dr. Ray in person. So with that being said, let's get to some of the meat and potatoes of the call, which actually just want to start off by congratulating some of our new leadership ranks. So congratulations to new executive directors from last month. Bobby Scott, congrats. Sierra Pierce, congrats. Let's see here. Paige Peterson, congrats. And let's see here. That takes care of executive directors. New integrated regional director, Lori and Garrett Dufresne. And Gary and Lisa Stewart, congratulations last month. Very, very exciting. So congrats to you guys. Fully integrated business coach is a really exciting step in your business. So I'm really excited for you guys. There's a lot to come from there. And this is just some of the steps that you'll hit across along the way. But moreover, just looking at the list here, or the list of people on the call, is there's a lot of people on here that took really strong aim on their business last month. And you guys are being true professionals. And I just want to congratulate every single one of you, because sometimes our efforts in 1 month land us on a new rank, and that's really exciting. We like to celebrate that smiley face, but you guys individually are making strides in your business also. So with that being said, the other reason we're going to come to the call is just kind of planning our month. So getting the most out of our month starts with getting going at the beginning. We always like to say, have your game plan set on the 28th of the month before, and start to make kind of a game plan of where you would like to accomplish, because this is a company and a business and a skill, basically building month to month and gaining clients and reaching out to people and helping them get healthy. And we're going to actually hear some tangible tips from some people this month. And actually, if you feel like you got some other ones you want to share with people online, I'm going to also encourage people to jump on here. But for people here that are trying to grow their business, I want to talk to you guys at kind of like an executive director level. And I've been talking to many of you guys at this, or about this, is focus on not only growing your client base to a solid, 8,000, 9,000 frontline volume and above, but focus on growing 15% a month. If you can focus on growing your business, which is your group volume, that's your total volume, that's between you and the clients you're helping become healthy, and the team that you are helping get started. If you can focus on what will land you 15% month of growth, that is a huge, substantial amount of growth every single month. So It doesn't take a lot of time, but that number actually spoke to me quite a bit, and I've been mentioning it with a lot of people, and it's been silly that Ashley and I haven't been mentioning it on the call. So if you can kind of program that in your head, if you can gain 15% a month in your business, which is not a lot of work, that adds up dramatically over time. So I just kind of wanted to point that out and make sure you guys write that down and put that in your heads there. I know most of you guys probably have this. You guys success trackers, you guys got that? All right, good. So for those that are on the line that are obviously striving for executive director or newer coaches, this is a tool that we use to help us basically gauge our activity in what we're doing here. So it has a list starting from the bottom, which are the clients that we want to support on programs. So you can either add the ones in here that you're already supporting, or if you're a brand new coach, you're going to want to start filling these in. It also has a list right here of the people that are strongly interested, because sometimes you guys are doing a lot of work and you don't see it yet because someone hasn't said exactly yes to getting healthy yet. So this helps you realize where your attention needs to be spent and continuing to do so. And this is kind of an activity tracker. So, still the same is true as we went to that first national convention, which is, for about 1 in every 5 people we talk to, someone will sign up pretty quickly. So this helps you if you're just wondering where to put your actions at and you're just kind of like saying, where should I do each week? This will help you. These little boxes are basically check marks of how many people you've talked to or followed up with. So it's actually a very simple way, and that's kind of why we've created this success tracker for those that haven't seen it before, and those that have been coaches for a while. Continue to use the basics because it helps you continue to know where to focus your attention at. And I just want to review this. So make sure you guys got this filled out nice and early on your month, and know what you want to shoot for. So where would 15% land you over the next month, and start formulating some goals on what you want to take for that, and then set actions week to week that's going to land you there. So, that's pretty much all I have as far as just, reviewing the stuff that helps us, how we want to gauge the growth of our business and kind of essentially plan where we want to go each month, and then breaking it down by week. There's a couple awesome opportunities I want to share with you guys to help you grow your business and help kind of anyone that you bring on get off to a good start. And this is something we're going to be doing every single month to help everyone get a strong start to their business. So on June 11th, which we're generally going to be doing every second Wednesday of the month, is we're going to be having a Learning About TSFL Zoom call. So it's going to be very similar to the Zoom call that Susan did, probably 20 minutes or less. And just reviewing what health coaching is, answering some of those questions so you can invite people that have been interested or looking at it, health coaching, to just learn a little bit more. And then the following Wednesday.
Real quick, what time, sorry, hon, what time is that at?
Oh, it's at 6:30. And also just for if anyone's looking how to get the information about all this stuff continues to get posted in the Brash Miller Facebook group page. So there'll be information about that and reminders to invite people to that. So put that on your schedule as something to invite someone to. So I know we all have a lot of health coach candidates and friends and people that we think would be great at this. This is an additional great tool to, instead of, and helping them layer health coaching and help them see what this is all about. Just like how many of you guys probably didn't know that you guys would be great health coaches someday. So we're going to be doing that. And then the next Wednesday on the 18th, 6:30 again, we'll be doing a Successfully Launching Your Take Shape for Life business Zoom call, just like Susan did last month. So we're going to be mixing this up. We're going to have some different leaders' voices in there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I just want to get you guys on the calendar, or get that on there so you guys can high leverage that. And then besides that, I'm going to have some of our new executive directors come on the line and just share a little bit some of the tips that they have found successful as they've honed their craft, done the work at the beginning of the month and then set out to do it. So I'm actually going to bring on, because a lot of what we do and the reason why we do this call is about structure and setting up our time. Because as we all know, Take Shape doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take focus and attention. So I'm going to have Bobby, our new executive director extraordinaire, because we had a great talk today, and you do a lot of stuff, but you also have fun and you live life on purpose. So just just share some of the tips that was helpful for you as you, reached out and actually achieved some of your goals. And I know one of the main things that we talked about was that you actually, one, set the goal, because when you speak it into reality, that's when things become real and you actually start doing things, and it becomes less of something that you'll do just later on. But what are some of the things that you help structure your time that if you were to pass on to yourself before this month started, that was helpful for you when as you operated throughout your month?
Sure, thanks. Well, first of all, I wanted to become a little bit more creative. And in doing that, I wanted to try and reach a different audience that I had been looking at. And actually, through the help of my family, and I have two teenage, well, they're in their 20s, daughters, I asked them what they thought about my posts, like on Facebook and emails and my newsletters. And my college graduate daughter is actually the one that inspired me to reach out to a new audience, something that I hadn't really thought of. So I reached out to the youth in the 20s, like college graduates, coming out of college and maybe having the freshman 15 stay on and maybe the senior 20 stay on. So I started to create a different posts in Facebook, and I just became more purposeful through them. And also, too, a lot of these people have been watching. They watch you, they watch what you do on Facebook, they watch your emails, and if you live your life that way, you exude that healthy lifestyle. And I got a lot of comments and a lot of feedback on that. I actually even had an old client come back who was in her 20s, and she actually put her mom and her dad on the program. So I got 3 of them back. I got one back and 2 more just from family of her watching me and what I would do in my life. So for me, it was sending emails, just became a little bit more creative, followed up with more phone calls, newsletters. I found common passions in Facebook, people who also loved animals, adopting animals, foundations that I support. And I just started to reach out to them and love on them. And then they in turn ended up kind of loving back on me. And it was great. So it ended up that my last client that I needed to get ED was on Saturday, and I was planning this vacation out at the river. So my very last client, I made that phone call at 7 o'clock in the morning, placed the order, and then went out on my jet ski and played on the river and jumped off of cliffs and had a great day. And I just kept remembering people saying, you can do this and be away and enjoy your life and go on vacation and still be a health coach. So it was an absolutely perfect day on Saturday.
Awesome. Thanks, Bobby. That's actually, it was a really good way to cap off your awesome month by helping someone on the last day of the month and then getting to go play. So so you worked in some extra touches with people throughout the week, and it just took more of attention to detail rather than a lot of actual time. So, and the one thing that I've been sharing kind of, because this has kind of been really helping me a lot recently, is I just take 5 minutes before I go to bed each night and plan out what I want to do the next day. I look at my goals. I look at what I want to accomplish in the weekend. What can I get done tomorrow? And that 5 minutes, sometimes it doesn't even take me 5 minutes. It just takes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And you just identify some like 2 or 3 or 4, even 5, 6 things you can do the next day that you wouldn't have thought of if you weren't being on purpose. And that's really the difference. So I know I see a lot of new faces on the call here tonight. If you're looking on how you actually build this Take Shape for Life business, it's about touching base with people, following up and being bold and connecting with them about getting on program with your story, being out there, being present. And those touches don't take a lot of time. And I know many of the people on the call are actually getting their business started here. And Ashley and I did this when we had a 60-hour work week. So what we didn't have was time, but what we did have was a lot of touches with people just throughout our normal day. And that's really all this takes if you're being on purpose. So again, why we do the standard of this call. So Bobby, thanks for setting us up with some great scheduling tips on how you did all that. And just kind of some different things you did to provoke some different interests. So the other person, so new executive director, our director, Sierra, you've been really on purpose. You went ED in less than 60 days, if I remember correctly. So what have you been doing? How are you touching base with people, and where are you finding clients? Just a reminder for all of us, we all like to learn, and also for all the new people online. What do you do?
Well, it started off really with Facebook and just trying to make sure that everyone that liked any of my posts, that I was sending them a message, like telling them what I was doing and asking if they knew anyone that was looking for that kind of help. And then so not just people that commented, but anyone who even liked any of my posts. And so I do that kind of just continually. Every time I post something that's health related, I contact them. And then people just in my daily life that give me compliments, I follow up with an email and I just tell them, thank you so much, that it just made my day, and this has been just a great journey for me, and kind of give them the little 1-minute story basically on email, and also ask if they know anyone that's kind of looking for that in their life as well. And I've gotten a few clients that way. And then, so I also really try to stay really connected with my clients, texting them and calling them and Facebooking them just a lot throughout the week, so that, because I want to help them be successful, so that, they will be able to help other people as well eventually. And so I've started seeing a few referrals come in now from from my clients, and now they're referring people, which is really great. And I keep having to remind myself too to kind of get out of my own shyness in a way, because part of me is a little bit insecure to bring up this program and what I'm doing and how great it is to everyone. But I'm just reminding myself, this has been such a blessing for me and for my life, and just so changed my life, and other people need that too and are looking for that too. And so I actually was just texting Lori, because whenever my sister, we went and bought her a wedding dress this last weekend, and I brought my business cards along because I was trying to look for ways to possibly, share Take Shape for Life, just in my daily, the things that I was daily doing. And so her bridal consultant just went online tonight and ordered her first month's food. And I had talked to her for maybe 2 minutes. I hadn't even, I hadn't had a potential client phone call with her or anything. In fact, when she ordered, I was like, okay, who's this person? But so I guess just, like you've been saying, trying to be really on purpose and thinking through, okay, these are all the places I'm going today, and these are possible ways that I could bring up, health coaching and Take Shape for Life, and then being prepared with things like business cards or other materials, ways to connect with those people. So I guess those are kind of the main things that have helped me so far. And Lori, my business coach, she proofreads like everything for me. I run ideas past her all the time, and I probably bug her to death, but she, helps me kind of hone and make the things I want to put out there a little bit better and a little bit kind of more smoother, I guess. So I think those are the main things for me so far.
Oh, and that's so good. So you're on purpose everywhere you go. You have business cards, and you have them on you, which is really important. So that's kind of a key one right there. I like that you said you thank people individually for liking stuff on Facebook. Just as simple stuff as a like. You actually send them a message saying just touching base with them. You actually go out of your way to make an extra connection. Did I hear you say that?
Yeah, I do. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Definitely.
So
just send them a little email, because it makes me feel good. So.
Good. And then so the last one there is probably a lot of people wondering, so how do you get all these people, what do you say? What comes up in conversation? Do you have a good example of something you say often, you find yourself? I know it's different every single time, and most of it's probably just being purposeful to say something as opposed to saying nothing that brings up Take Shape for Life in your journey. But give an example of something you might say.
Okay, so this weekend, and going with my sister to the bridal salons, I just went up to kind of the person at the counter and asked, I told him, I'm a health coach, and I'm helping some brides right now that are wanting to get in shape for their wedding. And is there a place that I could leave cards or information for any brides that might be interested? And so the consultant that I happened to be talking to, I guess, was herself interested. And I'm actually bringing some kind of discount material that they'll start including in all their bridal packets, with information from other vendors, things like photographers and cake makers and those kind of things. So that's, that was a new one for me. It was just approaching people kind of cold. But otherwise, it's just, if I'm at a restaurant and I'm ordering things kind of a picky way, I'm like, I'm sorry, I just lost 75 pounds, and I'm a health coach now, and I don't want to be too picky, but just bringing it up like that. And I know it sounds super cheesy, but it seems to work pretty well. So
it's actually not. That's how
people are looking for it, and so I want to be able to give it to them.
Like, man, this sounds familiar.
So you done that at all? Hey, I'm sorry, I have a special order there. I eat, I'm a health coach and blah blah blah. Like how many people we make connections with like that? A lot. Awesome. Thank you, Sierra. That's really good examples. So basically you take the opportunity to just share and connect every chance you get. So you're on purpose and you leverage that. So congratulations. And that's a really good tip. So the other one on top of that is just when you get it up in conversation, sometimes even, experienced people, even myself, I catch myself not being able to close the loop or get the conversation going. And one person I know is really good at that is Lori. So Lori, would you just share a little bit, just like, those weird conversations where you can tell someone's a little bit interested. How do you ask questions that basically get that provoked and going?
Okay. So what I do, I really always kind of like take a step back, because sometimes it can be awkward not knowing how to jump into the conversation or answer the question. So I like purposefully stop and just get myself grounded. And then I just try to ask a question, because sometimes you don't want to answer it right away, or you don't want to like, what are you doing or whatever. And I really focus on just being authentic and making a connection, and focus more on how I can build trust with someone as opposed to how can I get them on program, and find where the needs are that they're looking for, and just asking the right questions. This is a really good book that I really suggest, and it's Change Your Questions, Change Your Life, and it's by Marilee Adams, and I highly recommend it because there's just like a lot of thought-provoking questions in there that make you get to the root of what people are looking for. And just really listening attentively is big, and just building trust. So I think I focus more on how can I build trust with this person, and I put myself in their shoes, and I think, okay, if I was in their shoes right now, and if somebody was trying to tell me that, hey, I'm a health coach and blah, 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 like how would I receive that? So that's just something I always do, is kind of put myself in the other person's shoes and find out what they're looking for, and just kind of knowing how to connect and just be passionate. Like I am, for anyone that knows me, I'm very passionate about this program. I'm very passionate about this business. And so I usually want to just jump in and tell everybody everything all at once. And that's something I've really had to start learning how to just hold back and find out where their needs are and what they're looking for. And sometimes if they're already on another program, I'm just like, really? So tell me more about that. And, how's that working for you? And how long have you been on it? And what are your results? And when you're off of the program, what is your maintenance look like? And so just interested, just plainly interested. So they know that I care about them. And we all know more than likely they're probably not going to have great long-term success on what they're doing compared to what we have to offer. So even if they don't become my client at that moment, they're going to remember me. And that's usually what I really focus on, is just building that trust and just being me. And, so many times people ask, like, what do you say to somebody if they ask you this? Or what do you say if they ask you this? And it's just so different every single time. And I think if you have something rehearsed, it's going to come off looking rehearsed. And I think that if you just hold back and get yourself into that moment so that you're just building a relationship with someone, you're usually going to get fabulous results from that. So hope that was helpful.
It's very helpful. That's a really good way to just, one, I like the step of just take a step back before you talk with them, making a connection with them. And, I think the thing is like no one wants to ever be sold anything. And we definitely don't sell anything with our program and our health coaching. One, because the program, if we were working on selling, the program sells itself with what we do, but we want to find out what people want. And if you really find out what somebody wants, that's when you're able to help them. So for all the newer health coaches on the line here tonight, when you're sharing your story, talking with people, one, it's just talking with more people and sharing your story. And, but more importantly is if, you don't need to know a lot. You just need to know how to ask questions. So if you get in the opportunity where someone's at all interested, great things to say are like, well, why do you ask? Or do you know someone that would be interested in this? Or, just something that where if you find yourself not knowing what to say, is ask a question. Because if someone tells you what they want as far as changing their life, as far as getting healthier, we have the resources to do that. So as I wrap up the call tonight, I just want to thank everyone for the great insight on what we're doing and just the teamwork that we provide here with everyone on the line. I just spent the weekend at an adventure race where we have some of the top athletes like in the region and some Olympic athletes there. And I just was talking with people, like people that are fitness freaks. And I explained what our program is. And, one, it's just a shame that they haven't heard about it because they were so excited about it. I would explain, basically, we're a lifestyle program. We do weight loss very well, but we more importantly help people learn how to keep it off long term. And they're just like, wherever the conversation goes, they start asking some more questions. And they're like, really? That's how easy it is? And you show them some pictures of clients and they're like, no way, because they know how intense it is to live that lifestyle, and they know how overweight and unhealthy people are around them, and they see what we do. It's powerful. No one gets to do what we do. I know we all know this, and I know sometimes after we lose our weight and we become healthier and this becomes more ingrained, we forget how special it is. But walk out every single day, remember what it is we have in our hands, be bold and talk with people about it. So we have something special, and I remember when I learned really how special this program was, that's what helped me talk to more people about it. And if you talk to more people, there's more people out there that need it. So I'll basically want to leave you with that. We are always happiest when we're taking action and accomplishing things. So I want to encourage all of you guys to lean into higher goals this month. And the best way to reach out and do that is hopefully you guys have gotten some good tips from this call tonight. It's just good to come together because we're all over the United States and we get to basically come here in our healthy family and learn about all the different things that we're doing and celebrate the things we're doing together. But more importantly, we want to hone our craft and continue to grow. So the biggest thing I can leave you with, if you haven't connected with someone in your support team just to basically map out some goals this month and make kind of a game plan, I encourage you guys to do so. So do that. That's probably one of the number one things you can do on top of the actions you do every single day, and set yourself up with goals to basically accomplish and grow every single month. Going into national convention is probably the best time that you can do this. So, just a recap for tonight, set goals. Know what it is your game plan is for the month. Reach out to people. If you have questions, reach out to your support team. Work in little extras throughout the week. Thank you, Bobby, for that. And plan for growth for seasoned executive directors. Plan for 15% a month. Stretch yourself even more, 20%. I like, Denise, we chat every time. It's like 15%. Let's throw that out the window. Let's go for 20%. We're always shooting for more. So continue to do that and leverage national convention. We're going to have a great time. So if you're on a question mark about that, reach out to your support team. We'd love to help you make that happen. So we want to wrap up the call and say, guys, congrats. We had a great May. It's exciting, all the stuff that's going on, and let's go make it even more exciting June. So thank you guys all for being on tonight. So great to be with you, and see you guys later. Night, guys.
Thanks, Brad.
Bye.
Thanks, Brad.
Are we not